How many years do I need to be in Spain to obtain my Spanish residency? That is the question that will be answered by the end of this video. So stay tuned as we begin. If you have this question, I assume you are interested in the ways to obtain Spanish residency that require prior time, because there are many ways that don't require even a single day, that you can even obtain them from outside of Spain. So, having clarified that there are ways to obtain Spanish residency without waiting, simply by meeting the requirements beforehand, and even while being outside of Spain, now we will start with the ways that exist to obtain Spanish residency through time, or where time is a key element, because we will also see that none of them require only time. There isn't one that says you stay in Spain for a year and here's your legal residency, you stay in Spain for 2 years and here's your legal residency, or 3 or 4 or 5 and here's your legal residency. None work that way. However, there are some that will require as one of their main requirements that you have spent a certain amount of time in Spain. What are these authorizations that require you to have been in Spain for a certain amount of time? Well, they are the arregos, okay? All the arregos, all the authorizations for exceptional circumstances of arrego, except one, which is the family arrego. That one doesn't require time, but all the others do require time. How much time? As of today, this video is being recorded in March 2025. As of today, they require you to have been here for 2 or 3 years. But soon, in May 2025, all the arregos will require 2 years. All except the family arrego, which I already mentioned, does not require time, but all the others will require 2 years, starting from May 20th, 2025. With that in mind, I don't intend to get bogged down giving you information about the current immigration regulations, because they are already withdrawn. And because probably when you want to start your process, what will be convenient or mandatory for you will be to use the new one, or what will be convenient, it will be to apply under the new one. So, we are going to talk here only poistan about the new regulations, which is the framework that will presumably govern indefinitely. So let's get to it. 2.0. If you notice the short answer to what you wanted to know, which is how long you need to be in Spain to obtain your residency, we already have it. It will be 2 years for those categories that require time, which are all the arregos except for family arrego. In all of them, you will need at least 2 years in Spain. The thing is, as I was saying, it's not just 2 years. The thing is, those 2 years aren't just about you having been in Spain, right? They will require that during those 2 years you have had continuous residence, meaning that you haven't been out of the country for more than 90 days. Exits of more than 90 days could already be problematic. Also, during those 2 years, you must have demonstrated good civic behavior and integrated into Spanish society in some way, whether through courses, volunteering, or by establishing connections with family members or people with Spanish nationality. But in some way, you must have integrated during those 2 years. What else will they ask of you? Apart from those 2 years, it's really simple. They will ask you to be in a position to prove. Apart from those 2 years that we have already mentioned ad nauseum, that you can prove also one of the following 4 things. Either that you have a job offer that must be for at least 20 hours, and where? Well, in that line of thought, you will have to earn, at a minimum, half of the monthly interprofessional minimum wage. Because if it's for 20 hours, well, that's half of the maximum Spanish workday. That job offer must be made by a solvent employer who can prove they can pay your salary. That job contract offer, or that you have relatives who must be parents, children, partner, or spouse, no other relatives are allowed. That you have those relatives you live with, who have legal residency and obviously cannot be in an irregular status, and that they have enough money to provide for your sustenance, that they are self-employed, work, have savings, whatever it may be, but they can provide for your sustenance. That would be another second thing you could prove, and with 2 years, it would grant you papers. Another thing is to commit to studying or enrolling in a course. More than 2 years that leads to obtaining a degree from an institute approved by the Spanish government. Basically, and that would also grant you a residence and work authorization, with the caveat that in this case, your work authorization would not be for 40 hours, not for the maximum Spanish workday, but only for 30 hours. Because it is understood that you are studying full-time, therefore you cannot have a full-time job because they are incompatible, temporarily. The fourth option is that you are in a position to prove that you are going to start a business in Spain, which, depending on the business, or that you are going to develop an activity as a freelancer, basically it doesn't have to be a company, but depending on the business model, they will then ask you that you can prove that you have the professional qualifications, the necessary permits, or anything that is specific to that business. You are going to prove that you have it, including the financing, which will be needed in all businesses. That would be the fourth option. There is a fifth option that is pending based on the literal interpretation of the new immigration regulations, which is the text that will start to take effect from May 20th, 2025. It is not clear. It is not very clearly understood that this is going to be a requirement, but if we take into account how do things work now, and that the new immigration regulations do not aim to cut rights, but rather to enhance them, this should eventually be achievable. And we trust that through a clarifying note or an instruction, they will end up saying that this fifth option will also be valid. What is it? Well, it is basically proving that you have your own financial means, that you, the foreigner in an irregular status, have some savings. You have an income that you receive month by month. Obviously, it couldn't be from your work because you are not authorized to work, and that with that, you will be able to support yourself. How much? Well, it is likely to be 600 euros per month, which is the IPRAM currently, at least for 1 year. It would be 7,200 euros. More or less, if you can prove that you have them, in principle, I repeat, it is not absolutely certain, like the other four, but if you can prove that you have them, we trust that you can regularize your status, because as of today, with the current regulation, that bonus is possible. So, it doesn't make sense to eliminate that option. Besides, in the new regulation, indeed, economic means are required from someone who proves they have family ties with a legal resident or a Spanish citizen, and also from someone who proves they are going to start a business. So, we don't see why economic means wouldn't be required from someone who doesn't have either of those two options. It doesn't make sense to make obtaining a residence permit easier and work for someone without family ties and without a business project than for someone who doesn't have it. Do you understand me? So, from that perspective, we believe that what will be imposed is that a pathway will eventually be established whereby with your own economic means as a foreigner in an irregular status, as long as they are lawful, obviously you can access the residence and work permit as long as you have 2 years. Plus, to conclude the video, you need to know that proving those 2 years is extremely important. You may have them, but if you haven't been registered, having them will be of little use because you need to be in a position to prove them. So, the absolutely ideal situation is that you have been registered for all those last 2 years at the time of submitting your application. And additionally, you should have left a trace during that entire 2-year period of activities that a normal person living in a country would do. For example, scheduling a medical appointment, making an appointment with any administrative entity, studying something, sending money, bills in your name, anything you can think of can serve the purpose of proving the time. Normally, when you have 2 years of uninterrupted registration, you are not usually asked to prove that stay with anything else. But sometimes you are, and I tell you that if you don't have those 2 years, then for sure, they will ask you to prove that stay in order to benefit from one of these requirements they demand. At a minimum, having been in Spain for 2 years to apply a kind of presumption of integration into Spain, and therefore that you can take advantage of them. That's why they are called arraigos, roots. Remember that we can help you with this issue, that if you are a foreigner in an irregular situation in Spain, this is an excellent time to take care of your paperwork, because on May 20th, a new regulation will come into effect. You need to know now. This regulation is already public. It has been published in the BOE, Official State Gazette. All professionals already know it, or at least those of us who are up to date. Therefore, you should already have a plan. The time has come. You should already have a plan to benefit from it. Because it is expected that the immigration offices will see a significant increase in the volume of requests, and likewise, the time they take to decide will increase. In summary, the time it takes to process applications will increase, so it is in your best interest to be among the first. If you want me or a member of my team to pave the way towards your legal residency or even towards your Spanish nationality, in the pinned comment, you have a link where you can go to schedule a consultation, and most of these consultations are free, so take advantage of them. The link is also in the description box or in our contact information. You contact us, we schedule the appointment for you, and everyone is happy. I can't leave without mentioning our satisfaction guarantee, according to which if you do not obtain the result you came to seek, which in this case is your legal residency, and that is not due to your fault, because you caused some record or failed to follow our recommendations, we will refund all your money. This applies in general terms, just like that, already. On the day of your appointment, Access will explain to you in your specific case how it will apply, but I want you to get an idea of the extent of our commitment to your success and your process. We know what you need because we have been in your situation, and that's why we strive at all costs to make your life easier, so that you are at ease and know that you are not wasting your time or your money. Thank you for your like, for your comment, for sharing this with someone you think it might help. At this moment, somewhere on the screen, a button should be appearing for you to subscribe. You click there on a face, on an emoji, on our profile picture. Click there, subscribe like that, so you don't miss all the videos that are coming. We try to publish videos every day about immigration and nationality, so it's extremely up-to-date and valuable information. Another video should also be appearing for you to continue exploring this topic that interests you. And I'm sure that the video appearing on your screen right now will also be of utmost interest to you. Go watch it. Follow us on social media there, at Legal in Spain Official. There I share personal visits. If you like gossip and rumors, then that will be your natural place. Instagram at Legal in Spain Official to follow us. Until next time, thank you. Bye.